Double Identity, Chapter 2. Well, the woman says, I'm still staring off after my parents' taillights, staring at the empty street. I've practically forgotten the woman is there. No, Merle, I remind myself, Aunt Merle, but I've never called anyone Aunt before, so the name feels strange to me. I won't call you that, I think defiantly. I won't. Still, I tear my gaze away from the darkness where my parents used to be and glance at Merle. Up close, she doesn't look so old, despite the white hair, despite the Mrs. Santa Claus robe. Her face has surprisingly few wrinkles, and her dark eyes are brimming with sympathy. Are you hungry, she asked. Would you like something to eat? I don't keep much food in the house, seeing how it's only me living here now, but I'm sure we could scare something up. Peanut butter and jelly sandwich, maybe? Chicken noodle soup, or... I'm not hungry, I say. Then, because of some of my defiance has leaked into those 3 words, I add, no thank you. Okay, Merle says evenly, but she doesn't seem to know what to say to me if she can't talk about food. She can't even look me straight in the eye. It's as if I'm hideously ugly, painful to look at, and I don't think I am. I've got long blonde hair that I once described in a school essay as cascading down my shoulders. My teacher took off points for that because he said it was an overwrought cliché. And truthfully, my hair doesn't really cascade, it just kind of lies there. I also wear narrow, brown-rimmed glasses. My mother started bugging me a couple of years ago to get contacts, but I like my glasses. My face would feel naked without them, unprotected. Is that why my mother started crying? Because I fought with her about glasses? It isn't all my fault. I can't let myself think about that right now, or else I might start crying right here in front of Merle. I forced myself back to evaluating my appearance. Before I grew 7 inches in the past year, everyone always said I was tiny and cute. I don't think I'm any less cute for suddenly growing tall, but people can probably tell by looking at me that I'm not used to being this height yet. I like to collect unusual words, hence cascading and, well, hence. And I like to use about myself as a word I like to use about myself is coltish. So what if I'm a little wobbly on my legs right now? Someday I'll race the wind. Anyhow, tall and coltish sounds a lot better than tall and gawky, which is probably a more accurate description. Somehow I've survived 2 or 3 minutes of this strange woman staring at me without quite looking straight at me. But thinking about my appearance can last me only so long. I say, maybe I can use your phone. I feel brilliant suddenly. Why didn't I think of this sooner? I call my dad's cell phone and I'll just tell him how ridiculous this whole thing is. I don't want to stay here. He and Mom didn't want to leave me behind. Merle doesn't seem to know what to do with me, so let's just undo everything. And he'll come back and pick me up and we can all go together to get help for Mom. This is virtually the same plan that got me out of attending the first 3 months of 1st grade. But I don't care about seeming childish anymore. I'm picturing Mom and Dad and me riding off into the sunset together, or toward sunrise anyway. Then I see the turmoil my question has unleashed on Merle's face. I don't think, she begins, stops, starts again. Look, I know this is probably all very strange for you. It's strange for me, too. I feel like if I forbid you to use the phone, it'll seem like you're trapped here, like I've kidnapped you or something. When actually, she lifts her hands helplessly, as if explaining exactly why I've been dropped at her doorstep is far beyond her verbal abilities. Walter said it was very important that you shouldn't try to contact anyone. I just want to call him, I say. And it's all I can do to not make my words a whimper. I want my daddy. Well, Merle wrinkles her brow, deliberates. Somehow in that moment I decide I like her. She's taking me seriously. I don't see how that could be a problem. I follow her down the hall and into a kitchen, but I don't pay much attention to any of it. Why should I, if I'm just going to leave again in a few minutes? The phone is actually on the kitchen counter, and it's an old-fashioned landline, actually connected to the wall with a cord. I punch in the familiar number and put the phone to my ear. I hear one ring and a click and then a computerized voice. We're sorry, this number is out of service. What? I say out loud. I've known my father's phone number since I was 4, but I must have misdialed. I hang up and then pick up the phone again and push the numbers with exaggerated care. This time I check the number on the phone's digital screen. 484-555-9889. Yes. I lift the phone to my ear again. Ring, click, computerized voice. We are sorry, this number is out of service. Starting to panic. I try my father's number again. I dial my mother's number, even my own, though my phone broke yesterday, and that's why I don't have it with me now. And why did my phone break right before this bizarre trip? Was it just a coincidence or not? Out of service, out of service, out of service. I call the nationwide directory and ask for any listing for a Walter, Hillary, or Bethany Cole, hometown, Greenleaf, Pennsylvania. Checking, says the computerized voice says. Then we are sorry we have no listing for any of those names. It's as if my family ceased to exist, as if we never existed. I collapse against the kitchen counter, let the phone drop from my hand. There's not even any real live human I can argue with, protest too. I feel a gentle hand on my back. I've forgotten about Merle again. She's been standing here the whole time, listening to every word. I turn to face her. Isn't there any emergency number my father left with you? I choke out. Some way to reach him if I break my arm or... My throat closes over my next words. I can't say them. Or if I just need him. Merle's eyes are filled with fear now. Fear and confusion and something I can't quite read. But slowly, she shakes her head no.